You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Chiro Sushi, Barbara Eaton's 56-day chiropractic boot camp, California Jam, Move Well University, the Black Diamond Club, Pure Chiro Notes, the Chiro Dex app, Dr. Alok Trivedi, Chiro Spark, Chirogram, Chiropractic Wealth Management, 8 Weeks to Wellness, Integrative Freedom, and Element Mattresses. Let's hustle. Hey, good morning, everyone. Jim Chester here with the Chiro Hustle podcast. Today I have Lisa Thomson with me. She is coming from, where's that place? Santa Fe Springs, Whittier, California area, LA area. And I am coming from the Grand Junction area, which we call the Grand Valley on the western slope of Colorado. Today's episode is brought to us by 8 Weeks to Wellness. Dane Donahue and his crew are definitely delivering more wellness to people. If you give them 8 weeks, they say they can give your life back to you. So check out Dane Donahue. He's our sponsor today with 8 Weeks to Wellness. And now we're going to jump right in with Dr. Lisa Thomson. We're going to just ask her why. Why did you get into chiropractic?
Well, I was a soccer player in college. I didn't really know what I wanted to do other than I played soccer. That's how I picked the college that I went to. So after my sophomore year, I was talking to my mom, just trying to figure out what major to choose, all that fun stuff. And she suggested that I go and talk to the chiropractor that my father went to. And so I went and shadowed him for a day and was blown away. I didn't realize that chiropractic was so much more than neck and back pain. His patients loved him. Everything, he was so happy. He was so full of energy. I realized that it was all about taking care of yourself also, and diet and exercise. And it was just such an amazing atmosphere to be in. I should give him a shout out too. I think he practices in like Abu Dhabi now, but Dr. John Graham's a Palmer graduate. And yeah, that's, I was sold. Ever since that day, I decided this is the profession for me, and I've never regretted it.
That's really cool. And just for the record, we had a chance to meet each other in the line at Cal Jam before. We were just known to each other, but somehow I got into line and you were in line and you're like, hey, I'm your interview next Wednesday.
Yeah. They worked out well. It was very nice to meet you before.
So that's pretty cool too. Now let's switch gears a little bit and talk about what you're doing out in California and how you've progressed into the position that you're at right now. I know you're doing some work with the CCA, the California Chiropractic Association, and you are a board member, right?
I officially start in July. Yes, okay. I just got elected.
Pump the brakes a little bit.
I officially start in July. Before that, and currently, I am the local district president. So I'm in Southeast Los Angeles, so I'm the CCA president for the Southeast Los Angeles district. And I just kind of started at a local level, and I realized that the CCA creates a great platform for chiropractors to really get the message out about what we do, not just to our patients and potential patients, but also on a big level to senators and to assemblymen. We go every year, and I go and lobby, and we meet with these people, and there is a real disconnect between what we do and what people think we do. So I think CCA has been a great platform to really get our message out there, and we've been making a lot of changes lately and really trying to bring chiropractic to the forefront as a great solution to this healthcare crisis that we have.
And let's talk a little bit about what you guys are doing to reframe the CCA a little bit and what your involvement will be.
Mm-hmm. So again, there's a lot of people don't know what we do. And especially we notice that when we go up to Sacramento and we talk to these legislative people. So we're trying to get the message out there that we are a very cost-effective solution to all the healthcare problems. We are very safe, and it's very effective. So we're really trying to use that as our brand and just educate as many people as possible that right now there is an opioid crisis. This is a problem, and studies show that chiropractic works well and it keeps costs down, which whenever people hear that, that's obviously a great selling point too. They just understand that. That's what legislative people want to hear. So just trying to get that message out there. It works. It's safe.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful. Yesterday I interviewed a guy that's Chinese that's taking chiropractic to China, And
Awesome.
he was talking about how the Chinese government supports chiropractic because it saves them money. It
Yeah.
saves them from the rehab part of care with when somebody comes off of some type of an invasive procedure, and
Hmm.
how chiropractic care is their first line going into a care plan for a patient. So
That is huge.
I think that what we've done is, I don't know if the right terminology is throw the baby out with the bathwater when it comes to, the healthcare system here. Is we've basically sold our system for the people that don't really care about the health of our nation.
Mhm.
So when it comes to having people that are sick and not getting better, and there being an opiate epidemic, and I've seen a couple posts here recently on Facebook where they send in, like, I don't know, I'm going to exaggerate for a little bit, but they send in like 10 truckloads of pharmaceutical opiates to a small community that is like 30 times more than that community could even handle.
Yes, in West Virginia, I read that too. It's crazy, scary.
What is the solution? What are you guys going to do? I mean, how are you guys going to frame this to help the people?
Yeah, I mean, right now, the biggest thing that we're working on is education, and we're rebranding so many things too, just to really say that it's everything here is it's fresh, new look. Everything's new at CCA, and education is huge. And we have a couple people involved with CCA that are not chiropractors and that do know a lot what people are looking for. It's always nice to have that non-chiropractic view. And that they're saying the same things too. We just need to get our message out there. A lot of people just don't know what we do.
Yeah, and I think that that's highly important because we have actually an abundance of chiropractors here, even though that we say that we don't have enough to take care of the population. Just think about China; they have about 20 chiropractors for 1.4 billion people, and we have, I don't think, quite the scale of population as they do over there, and I think we have somewhere around 60,000 chiropractors over here. So we actually have the upper hand in this conversation right now. We have a lot of chiropractors out there. We just need to teach them that they have all the tools with them to be successful and take care of the people that need it.
Absolutely.
So we're going to switch gears now, and
Okay.
we're going to talk a little bit about you being a mamapractor and how it is for you to have two little ones and for you to be at the clinic and to manage that lifestyle. So let's start with today. How did today go?
Well, today, got up. Actually, it worked out well. This is kind of an interesting story. It worked out well this morning. My daughter, who's 3, wet the bed. And normally that's a bad thing. And obviously I'm not happy about that. But it happened to be that the eclipse was going on. So I looked up and it was like, oh, cool. I get to watch the eclipse now. So wake up in the middle of the night. That happens often. I'm not very well rested sometimes. But saw the eclipse. So that was good. But then I get up and making school lunches and getting the kids dressed. And my husband leaves work a little earlier. So it's a lot of times I'm doing that. And then dropping my son off at school, dropping my daughter off at the babysitter, coming in here, and then I have the interview. And then I have a whole bunch of patients this morning right after this. And then I'm going to relax and probably need to meditate or something at lunch, and then just start up again after lunch. So the days get busy, but when everything goes smoothly, it's very rewarding.
Yeah, and that just shows us that no matter how much just put on our plate, somehow we all figure it out and we stay successful throughout that process, and we learn to rise to the occasion. And I think that that's something that would be great for you to talk a little bit more about, of how is it to be a mom, not just on today, but how is it to be a mom and run a business?
Yeah. So I first opened my practice, and my son was, I think, 2 years old. I opened my practice 5 years ago, and he's 7. So he was about 2, and I would bring him with me sometimes. And it was
Mhm.
some days it was fine. People would be like, "Oh, he's cute," whatever. And other days he was running around like a crazy person. So then I have my daughter. So right now my kids are 6 and 3, almost 7 and 3, and I don't bring them with me anymore. They know that they can get away with more. That I have to pay attention to my patients here, so they don't come with me as much. But I mean, it's every day's a little different. So I don't work full time really. I kind of make my schedule around what works. I work full time Mondays and Wednesdays. Tuesdays I don't go into the office until 2 o'clock. I try and get paperwork and stuff done at home. on Thursdays, I leave work early. I leave at like 2 so I can pick up my son from school. And then I take Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. I need that time to be mom and reset and do all the laundry for the week and all that other fun stuff that I have to do. So yeah,
Well,
it's all about balance, I guess. It is like everything, right?
you've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Chiro Sushi, Barbara Eaton's 56-day chiropractic boot camp, California Jam, Move Well University, the Black Diamond Club, Pure Chiro Notes, the Chiro Dex app, Dr. Alok Trivedi, Chiro Spark, Chirogram, Chiropractic Wealth Management, 8 Weeks to Wellness, Integrative Freedom, and Element Mattresses. Let's hustle. Well, it's nice for you to share the real. And I think that that's the part where these interviews are really important, because so many times people don't know how to share their real self and what really happens on the work and life balance. And, you know, I couldn't even imagine what it'd be like. I'm a single man. I've never like had to raise kids as babies. So I couldn't even imagine if I was running like 3 interviews a day, what it would be like if I had a 6 and a 3-year-old running around. I don't know what I would do. So, you know I have a lot of respect for the moms of this world and for taking care of the family front, and then learning how to be a business person as well. And let's talk a little bit about chiropractic business. What is it like for you to be at the forefront of a business now?
Well, I love it. I love being a business owner. It's just in me. I don't think I could stay home all day. I love my kids, but I'm a much better when I get to come to work also. So I love it. It's really fun for me to be an entrepreneur. I love being a doctor. I love being a mom, and I love being a wife. So yeah, it's really fun for me just to, especially lately, now that my kids are a little bit older, they're not babies anymore. I can spend a little more time on the practice, and the marketing it's enjoyable for me, and getting out there and just educating people. So yeah, it's,
Now let's touch on a few more topics. So say that there's a chiropractor out there, guy or gal, and they're kind of struggling right now, or they're going through school right now. Are there any tips of wisdom that you would give to them so that they might, be able to glean a little bit from you?
yeah, absolutely. So this is funny. We had a big CCA day at Southern California University of Health Sciences yesterday, and a similar question was asked. We had a great panel of experienced doctors, and they said, "Oh, what should we do when we get out of school? What do you recommend? Any recommendations?" And one of the most common things people said was to save your money. It's so easy to you get that student loan money and to just spend it. So whether you save that money and use it towards something when you are in practice, or if you're just starting to you don't need to make the big purchases right away, get your foundation strong first. So that would be a big one. And then my recommendation yesterday, I said to get out of your comfort zone. I said, do something every day that makes you a little bit uncomfortable. It's so easy to just say, oh, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll wait till tomorrow. I'm not ready for that. You're never going to be ready. Nothing's ever perfect. So step out of your comfort zone. Go talk to the people that you want to talk to, and whatever is holding you back, just do it. And the more you do that stuff, the better you'll be at doing that stuff. So get out of your comfort zone a little bit. I think it's really important. Not just chiropractors, everybody. Do something every day that makes you a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's really good advice. And, I think the money matters tip is something that most people misconstrue because they don't understand how to, they just don't understand money. And, when people get those big student loan checks, it's like, let's put the pedal to the metal until this is gone. And then we'll eat nothing for 3 weeks until the next one comes in. And, the bars go bankrupt in the areas because the students aren't spending their student loan money anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I went to school. I went to Palmer in Florida. So we had Bike Week. Bike Week was just a party for a week. We had spring break was a month long because everybody's spring break was 1 week after the next. So it was a lot of fun. But yeah, very easy to not understand that, we have to pay all this money back. And I need something when I graduate, because as much as it sounds good to just graduate and all of a sudden you're making a lot of money, that's not usually how it works. It takes time to grow. So yeah, it would have. Would have been good.
That's a really good tip to the future chiropractor and the early on chiropractor is to balance your savings within your loans a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
And just because you have it doesn't mean you should spend it.
Absolutely.
So but we're going to close out here shortly, but let's talk a little bit why it's important for chiropractors to get more political.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, that's whether we like it or not, that's who's making a lot of our decisions. And we're up against people that don't necessarily have the same opinions as us. I mean, like the American Medical Association, stuff like that. And I'm like, when it comes to like pharmaceuticals, I'm not saying there's not a time and a place to use pharmaceuticals, but I really think that if more doctors understood what we did, then they would refer more to us instead of prescribing medications. And I always encourage, whenever I do one of these podcasts too, I say, if there's any medical doctors or orthopedists out there, feel free to call me. I would love to talk to you. If there's any locally, I would love to go have lunch with you and just tell you what I do, show you what I do, and talk and learn more about what they do too, because I don't know. I have patients come in, they're car accidents. I see a lot of car accidents. I'm in Los Angeles. I have patients come in all the time. It's, oh, what happened after your accident? I was given painkillers and muscle relaxers, like every time. So it's not always the answer. I think we just need to educate everybody. But when it comes to legislative bodies, I see it. When I'm up in Sacramento, I'll say, hey, do you have a chiropractor? Do you know what we do? The answer is very often no. I don't know what you do. I don't have a need for it. I don't need it. So it's just getting the message out there about how safe it is, about how cost effective it is.
Mm-hmm. And I think that we have to get over the old ideology of us against them. And I think we need to embrace the idea more that you need two doctors in your life, one to keep you healthy and one to save you from dying. And I think that we just need to reframe the way that people are being over-medicated, honestly. Yeah. I think that the medical model exists for a reason. I think that there's definitely a high level of substance with getting people well. And I think that we just need to reframe the way people are getting well. Absolutely. And I think that the relationship isn't going to get any better unless we become more pliable to the idea that nobody's going away. The chiropractor's not going away and the MD's not going away. So we have to learn how to play within that paradigm.
Yeah, work with each other. Absolutely. That could change many, many lives.
And I think that that's a really good spot for us to go into this last question with you. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you'd like to share with our audience today?
Well, since the audience, I assume, is mainly chiropractors, I'll give a call to action. Step up, get out there, talk to people, meet people, do podcasts, do Facebook Live, all that stuff. Get out there and get your message out there. And everybody's message isn't the same as mine. But figure out what your message is and get it out there. That I really feel like chiropractors, we have a moral obligation to get that message out there, change lives and change healthcare. We're at this perfect opportunity to do so. And it's just so important. It's so important. I'm sick of seeing so many people sick with things that are preventable. So I call to action, get out there and get your voice heard.
Yeah, I think that one of the biggest things, like you said earlier, is getting more uncomfortable doing things. And I think that that's one of the first steps is doing things that you don't want to do, but are necessary. Yeah. And doing that 5% more on a daily basis that you didn't want to do, but it's necessary to get the message out there.
Yeah, and it gets easier. So
it does. It does. Well, I think that sums up our interview today. And I just want to say thank you so much for being our guests on the Chiro Hustle morning cast and the morning stream of information from the Chiro Hustle movement. I just want to send one more shout out to our sponsor today, 8 Weeks to Wellness. Their philosophy is if you give us 8 weeks, we'll give you your life back. And that's Dr. Dane Donahue. And I just want to send a warm thank you to Dr. Lisa Thomson for being our guest today. And if anybody has any questions for either of us, if you're watching this on replay, go ahead and put those questions into the comments down there, and we'll be sure to answer all of you. And last but not least, I'm going to throw a shout out to everybody that was on the live feed with us today. I usually do a really good job of that. But today we had Dr. Cindy Elwart Schaff-Toll. She goes, hi from womenchiropractors.org. We love Chiro Hustle. We love how you are featuring so many women. Rock on. And then Dr. Barry Marks says, thank you, Dr. Thomson, for being a great ambassador for chiropractic, and to you, Jim, for another great interview. And then Dr. Tim McFadden says, hashtag Chiro Hustle tips. So thank you to everybody that was on the live stream this afternoon. And thank you, Dr. Lisa, and keep rocking.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
All right, see you.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Chiro Hustle Live. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.